How's everybody doing? My name's Anthony Pillitiere. Everybody calls me Tony P. I'm going to talk today about some of the programs that are available to transitioning veterans. And this is not just about understanding it from the members' perspective, but also your leadership, as well as the organizations. So if there's any companies out there that are listening to this and see this video, being a part of the SkillsBridge program and the Warrior Care Coalition program are really important. I transitioned in 2020, and I've been on a mission to help as many veterans as I can have a smooth transition like I did. I got out and went directly into an executive position, building a company and leveraging the SkillBridge program. And my wife also transitioned in 2020, and her transition was not as smooth. And as I'm talking about talking to veterans and telling them about the lessons learned that my wife and I had, and some of the folks that I've talked to and the lessons learned that they've had, what I hear a lot of is they don't know about the programs that are available to them. They don't know about SkillBridge. They don't know about Warrior Care Coalition. And they also only understand it certain ways. And they also only understand it in they have misconceptions about what it can actually give them. So I wanted to spread the word on SkillBridge and Warrior Care Coalition and kind of give an idea of some of the ways that you can leverage these programs outside of what the norm is. And one of those is the Kickstart Your Startup, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So who am I? I'm the co-founder and CTO for Horizon 3.ai. I spent 21 years in the Air Force. I did everything from help desk to firewall administration, tactical communications, enterprise communications, research and development, supporting things that have not yet come out from weapon systems and airframes. And then I went on to Air Education and Training Command, where I was an instructor supervisor down at Keesler Air Force Base. I think a lot of the Marines know about that, some Navy folks down there, and then Air Force as well. I don't think Army goes down. I don't remember seeing any Army folks down there. So I was an instructor supervisor and an instructor down there. And then I went into the Special Operations Command, doing tactical communications and enterprise communications. And then my last stint there was as the Deputy Chief Technology Officer for Joint Special Operations Command, where I was driving and developing the technology strategy because we realized that the future wars are not going to be won by those who have the biggest guns or the biggest muscles. It's those who are nerdy like us, who know how to leverage technology and leverage information better than our adversary. Those are the ones who are going to win future wars. I did everything. I did a lot there. Site reliability engineering program manager. I developed the program there. Enterprise logging and monitoring, and a lot of automation to help improve the efficiencies of delivering services for the warfighter. And everything all the way down to carrying an M4 and a Prick 117 Golf on my back. So 25 years in technology. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't feel like I'm in my 40s, but apparently I am. I'm a veteran advocate. The transition I had, the transition my wife had, and the folks around me, I saw good things and I saw bad things, and I saw where the service did not do very well in helping us with transitions, and I saw some places where they did really well. So helping veterans and helping transitioning veterans has been something that I've just dove into. I've linked up with folks like Herb and Kurt Windemuller and Ben Perez and a lot of folks who have a lot of experience with that. And I want to be a part of that, and I want to help. And especially Tom and the folks here at the VetSec community. I love the motto where no veteran pursuing information security goes unemployed. I love that, and I want to be a part of that. So I just found out about VetSec a couple months ago. So I wish I would have known about it more while I was in to help contribute and learn from the community. So now it is part of my repertoire of things that I want to advocate for. I'm a father. Those are my 2 kids. That's Mario. He's a little sweetheart. And that's Penelope, my daughter. She's Sassy 9000. Uh-oh. Oh God, did I lose connectivity? There we go. And then I'm also a husband. That's my beautiful wife. That picture was taken when I was downrange in Afghanistan. She sent me that. That banner. I held it up, and then she took a picture of it back home. This is when we were trying to announce Penelope's birth. She took a picture back in North Carolina, and then a buddy of mine stitched the 2 together so we could do the announcement together. So I thought that was cool, and I wanted to share that too. That's my amazing and beautiful wife, Johanna. Both veterans, both 20 plus years in the service. So, and I'm a nerd, super nerd. Anything that has to do with technology or automation or using technology to make your life better, except for social media. I hate social media, but anything other than that, I got a big old rack at the house with a couple Dell R610, 4 R610s, 2 Dell 720s, T610, a bunch of IoT stuff that I'm playing with and poking at. So yeah, that's me. I'm the CTO and co-founder for Horizon3.ai, where our mission is to help you find, fix, and verify attack vectors before attackers do. We do that not through manual penetration testing, not through crowdsourced or automated. I built, and the team has significantly improved my crappy prototype code, building out autonomous penetration testing. We want to give offensive security, that capability of offensive security, to more and more organizations so that they can focus on what matters and prioritize better and shift the economics of an attack back in their favor. So that's Horizon 3. This is not a pitch or anything like that, but if you want to learn more about that, we're hiring. Link up with me afterwards. And then the one more shout out that I want to give is for Give an Hour. The last couple of months, and over the last 20 years, mental health, and specifically on the veteran side and the VA side, there's been some gaps there. And with all the things that have been going on, specifically what's going on in Afghanistan, I know a lot of the folks in my network are really struggling with some of the things that have happened and how things went. Veteran mental health there are some gaps there. Give an Hour is an amazing organization. It's a nonprofit organization that provides a gap, it fills that gap. They have a network of over 4,000, if I remember correctly. I talked to the CEO a while ago. 4,000 or so mental health care providers who give an hour. I think it's more than that, but that's why they call it that. And they are an amazing group of people. Trina is an amazing woman who is leading this up. So if it's a nonprofit founded in 2005, they supplement mental health services for veterans, not just for the veterans, not just active duty, those that have already transitioned, but also their spouses and their family members. So if there's a gap there that you need filled and the VA isn't doing it for you, call them. Independently licensed healthcare professionals. They are amazing, and it's all pro bono. It's free. There's the contact information. If anybody wants the slides afterwards, just let me know. Hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'll drop the slides in there. So, okay, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. SkillBridge and Warrior Care Coalition. Both of these programs. SkillBridge is probably the most amazing program that is provided to veterans as they're transitioning out. Far better than most of the other ones that I have seen and I researched. SkillBridge is where it's at, and we're going to talk about that. Warrior Care Coalition is similar to that, a lot of the same premises, but it's specifically for special operations and the folks within SOCOM. And we're going to talk about level 0, which is some of the misconceptions of what SkillBridge is and how it works. I'm surprised on a regular basis how people understood what was briefed to them in TAPS or in what they kind of picked up from it over on social media and over the website. It blows my mind how they didn't quite pick up on things, and I want to help clear those misconceptions. And then the primary use case of how most folks are using it today. And when I say most, I've talked to hundreds of veterans who have transitioned and used it, and a lot of the content that comes from a lot of the folks within SkillBridge and the folks who leverage SkillBridge, how they're leveraging it. That's kind of the majority of usage of it. And then we're going to talk about level 10, which is the other ways and other strategies, because I haven't seen anybody talk about different strategies in leveraging SkillBridge or Warrior Care Coalition. So I want to talk about some of the ones that I have come up with that you can think about as you're doing your transition, and ways that you can prepare for them to leverage them in a way that's hugely impactful for you. And then I'll talk about some lessons learned and some things you need to think about as you're doing your transition. Just a quick recap. I put some polls up in the polls section. One was, have you heard of DoD SkillBridge program? I want to collect more information about that. Something more specifically on the offense and defensive side. Are you offensive security focused, defensive security focused? And then what's your current status? Are you active duty transitioning soon? Are you active duty transitioning in about 2 years? And then have you already transitioned? So hit those polls up for me so I can collect that data. And then I can use that as I'm talking to more veterans, and I can use that information to help them and help them understand more. Okay, DoD SkillBridge. As you're transitioning, there are 1,000 things that you need to be thinking about. We're talking about your VA rating and the disability stuff, all the VA appointments you've got to go to, out processing, and that pain in the ass process, going to TAPS and doing that week of stuff there, finances, relocation, education, benefits, healthcare, life insurance. But the one, Ron, yeah, just pick one, whatever your focus is. I know that there are some who are both, but folks are usually, kind of align underneath one. I appreciate that you align on both, so that's good. But there are, with all those things that you're worried about, the one that people are most anxious about and have, lose sleep about in getting that DD-214 is getting the job. And I love VetSec because the whole idea here is nobody in this community will probably go without a job. There's lots and lots of opportunities out there. It's all in how you go about and going out and getting it. And DoD SkillBridge is a mechanism. It's a program that allows you to go and work with a company while you're still active duty, still getting paid, active duty pay, still getting your BAH, and you gain the real world experience of working in a civilian organization. And I will tell you that it is different. That quote, DoD SkillBridge program is an opportunity for service members to gain valuables, blah, 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 blah. You guys can read it. That's directly off of the SkillBridge page. And you can see, thanks, Ron, for dropping that in there. You can see the SkillBridge is on the slides as well. The first problem that I see is folks don't know about it, which just blows my mind. So I am here to make sure that more and more folks know about SkillBridge program and how you can use it. There are some misconceptions about it, that it is, I want to talk more about it. There are 1,311 organizations right now. I just looked today, 1,311 organizations that you can pick to go and do an apprenticeship with or an internship with. And there is a high likelihood of employment afterwards. So if you think about it, you're going to do an internship with an organization doing whatever it is, whatever skill that you want to do, whatever position that you want to go for, you're still getting paid. And think of it like a 3-month or a 6-month interview process where you really get to provide and prove your value to an organization. And then at the end, they see it, that you get to show them how you've taken what you've learned in the military and all of the jargon that we learn in the service and turn that into and translate into value and benefit for them on their side. So, and if you don't want to keep the job, you don't have to keep the job. You can walk away and go somewhere else. So that's the SkillBridge program kind of in a nutshell. There are 1,300 organizations. You go to that website, you sign up for DoD SkillBridge, you work with their SkillBridge folks, you go work with them you show your skills, you learn how the business works, you learn how their organization works, you learn how that position and how that role fits into their business. You provide them value, and they provide you value by keeping you from saying the word fuck every 5 minutes, and remembering not to use 8 million different acronyms, and working with civilian organizations. So it's an amazing program, and I really want to help spread the word on DoD Skills Bridge. Warrior Care Coalition, like I said, is a similar approach. There's some nuances to it but it's only for special operations folks within SOCOM. So look at that program. If you're within SOCOM, and if you want to hit me up, I got a couple of folks who Carlos Cabello, who was a CW5 in the Army. He's on my team right now. He used Warrior Care Coalition to come and work with me. And then I have other folks on my team that have used DoD SkillBridge, and I've used DoD SkillBridge as well to transition out of the service. So a lot of experience there, and there's plenty of folks online. There's plenty of information online, and folks on LinkedIn who will help you and give you even more information. I know specifically for the Air Force that you're going to go to the Virtual Education Center and you're going to talk with those folks, and they'll help walk you through that process. And then on the Army side, you're going to go through the Career Skills Program at the Career Skills Program through the Army. I don't know what it's called. I think it's Career Skills Program on the Navy and the Marine side, but don't quote me on that. I haven't worked with any Navy folks yet. So there's that. Let me switch over, do the thing. All right, some misconceptions. The first one is I've never heard of it. Okay, now you've heard of it. I hope more and more folks are going to keep hearing about it, and I'm asking everybody in here and everybody who sees this to make sure that they are all veterans are spreading the word about the SkillBridge program. I thought it's just for changing jobs. And while that is true, yes, you can use that. That's not just what it's for. During TAPS, and it might have just been through my TAPS and some of the other folks who I've had conversations with who told me their experience, the context in which they talk about SkillBridge in TAPS, it gives them this idea or this sense that it's about going from one skill set to another skill set. And even the name can be a little bit misleading, that it's SkillBridge, but don't think of it that way. For those of you specifically in here on the VetSec side, you guys are in cybersecurity. You can take the skills that you learned as a 1 Bravo 4, a 3D1X2, or whatever a 25 Bravo, and whatever the 17 Delta, whatever the other MOSs and the rates are and the AFSCs are for cybersecurity and IT. You can take those skills and pick up and drop down in an internship and be able to teach them something. Trust me, I've seen it happen, and I know it's possible. It's not about gaining new skills. It's about translating the skills that you do have into working with a civilian organization and working within their particular strategy and their particular vision at that particular company. And it's learning the translation of your military background and your military experience and applying that in the civilian world. So don't think of it as a skills bridge and you have to learn new skills from a technical standpoint. Trust me, not the case. If you think about the capabilities that service members have, it is more about you. Folks are learning. You get more authority, more responsibility, more stakes are on the line, and there is deliberate leadership and deliberate growth that you are provided in the service. So as you transition out, it doesn't matter if you were in 3 years or if you were in 30 years, you are ahead of your peers, ahead of your peers on the other side who have not gone through that in most cases. It's just about translating the idea of, I've been in the service and I've done things a particular way. Now I need to bridge my understanding or bridge my concepts and understandings of how you change it from a mission focus to more of a business focus and a business outcome focus. That's the bridge that SkillBridge provides, right? So it's not just about changing jobs. And then the last one is, I don't need an internship. I need a job. Yeah, tracking. I got that. I don't like calling it internship. As a matter of fact, when I was transitioning out, before I decided to, this was like 2 years out, I started my plan, started to kind of figure things out. I gave a guy at Google a call, and I said, hey, looking to do an internship. And after the conversation, after we got into the conversation, he's like, you've been doing tech for 20 plus years. You have some significant experience and you have a lot of understanding of all the things that you would be doing here. Why are you doing an internship? And there is the word internship gives this the idea that it is entry level, and SkillBridge is not that. So don't think of it as an internship. And as a matter of fact, if you're going to organizations who want to kind of put you in that bucket that you are a entry level person, if you have those skills, explain that to them. Oh, good. I love it, Jake. Would a 3-month SkillBridge assignment be 100%? And I'm going to go through these questions at the end too. But yes, 100%, Jeremy. Absolutely. The word internship, forget about that. When you show up and you start explaining your experience and you start showing your skills, they're going to know that, oh, this guy is not here for an internship. We're going to turn this into a 3-month long, a 2-month long, or a 6-month long interview to kind of help you bypass and get around some of the problems and the cluster effery that there is around application tracking and all the problems that we get as we transition out and we don't understand how to translate our words and our NCOERs and our EPRs and our OERs into an actual resume that resonates in the civilian world. So think about that. So there's some of those misconceptions. So let's talk about some of the primary use case. And it's really, really cool. It's a fellowship through Hiring Our Heroes. There are other ones, but I'm going to focus on Hiring Our Heroes. Hiring Our Heroes is put together by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and it is an amazing program. It is a fellowship, so they kind of changed the term there from internship to fellowship. But what's going on underneath is you have SkillBridge. This is how they leverage it. And then they put think of it as a value-added reseller on top of SkillBridge, and that's Hiring Our Heroes. Hiring Our Heroes goes out. Thank you, Ron. Man, you are awesome, bro. Hiring Our Heroes goes out and puts together works with a bunch of companies, AWS, L3. There's all kinds of them, Raytheon, all sorts of them, and they bring you in one of these cohorts, and the next one is January 10th. So January 10th through March 31st, May 2nd through July 21st, and then August 29th through November 17th of 22. You sign up, and then they do some interviews with you. They kind of get an understanding of what your skills are, what do you want to do, and where do you want to go. And then they push your resume out and all of the additional information that they've gathered through the interview with you to like 40 different companies. And then those 40 companies kind of fight over you. And then you, as the member, get to pick where you want to go. And then you go, once the cohort time comes, then you go and work with that company 4 days out of the week, doing whatever it is that you signed up to do, or whatever position that they're putting you in. And so if you wanted to go and do site reliability engineering at AWS, or you wanted to go and do incident response or DFIR at L3 or whatever the other companies are, you would go do that work and sit with somebody, and they would go put you through some kind of training and kind of help you bridge the gap between the military side and the civilian side. And then on Fridays, you come back with the rest of your cohort and you do training on things like resume building, salary negotiation, job search, and you work as a cohort with all the other folks, and you bring all of your lessons learned and how it went and what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and you do that on Fridays. And it's an amazing program. And that's kind of the primary use of SkillBridge. That's the one that I see most commonly people are using. But that doesn't mean that it's the only one. So I want to talk about some additional strategies that you can use while employing SkillBridge. Like I said, hiring our heroes sits on top of SkillBridge. But if you don't use hiring our heroes, there are some additional ways that you could leverage SkillBridge to get more value for you. Everybody throughout my entire career, I picked every place that I went, every position that I had, I picked it. It was of my design, except for my very first job, and that was at in New Mexico at Holloman Air Force Base, good old 49th Comm Squadron. That was the only one that I didn't pick. And as you're transitioning out, it now becomes your responsibility to take care of you. And if you're not strategizing, if you're not thinking about the best way for you to transition out of the service, you're just going to go out on LinkedIn about 4 or 5 days or a week or a month before it's time to get out, and you're going to put out this post. Hey, look, getting ready to transition in a couple weeks. Anybody got any jobs for me? And I will tell you right now, that ain't going to work out very well for you. If you're not starting 2 years in advance to start thinking about how you want to transition and start to build out a strategy, and then starting to implement it at about 18 to 12 months out, it's not gonna end well for you, or it's not gonna end as well as it could have for you. Now, there are 3 strategies that I come up with. Precision engagement. Precision engagement is more, it's kind of like hiring our heroes, except you're finding your ideal position and your ideal company, and you're going directly to them with the idea of SkillBridge. And I'll tell you how SkillBridge screwed this up starting in October. But that's the precision engagement, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in advance in a second. Then you have the A/B test. Now, sadly, this is some of the things that the Air Force kind of screwed up for us. Was you can't do an A/B test in the Air Force, but in all the other services, you can go to one company for 3 months and then go to another company for 3 months, and then you get to decide at the end. And I think that is amazing. I wish I would have known that was something that was possible. But some of my guys, folks within my network, leveraged that and got significant value out of it. So I wanted to bring that strategy up. And then Kickstart My Startup. This one is going to cause some controversy, I think, because yes, there are other programs within TAP and within the transition programs that are available that provide something similar. But I'm okay with controversy. Leveraging the SkillBridge program to do it this way, I think, is just as valuable and still meets the intent of SkillBridge as well. So let's talk about the precision engagement. Where am I at on time? 30 minutes. Nice. Okay, so the precision engagement. This is a targeted approach to you finding the position and the company that you want to work for. It requires that you do some intelligence gathering, and that's doing open source intelligence gathering. This is going and getting inside interviews and getting inside understanding of a company and their culture, the role. I'll tell you right now that putting what's down in a position description and putting it out on the internet, or seeing, going and applying for those jobs, what's on there may or may not be what you actually end up doing. So getting an inside understanding of, is this the right role that I want? Is this the right company that I want to work for, is hugely important. Thinking about things like, what is their leadership like? Is their leadership a bunch of assholes that I probably won't like working for? What is the management structure? What are their benefits, and what is the comp? This is you interviewing a company and doing some pre-screening and narrowing it down to a couple of companies that you get to pick and you get to interview, and you are in control of where you go, and leveraging it that way. Most of these companies won't be able to say no, because they get you free for 3 months or 6 months or however long that you can do it with them. They get free chicken out of you. You have them by the under stuff. So what is the preparation? What is the preparation that you need to do for this? First, you need to understand what it is. What do you want to be when you grow up? What is it that you want to do? What is your goal? What is your 12-month plan, your 3-month plan, or your 3-year plan, your 5-year plan? What is your end state? Thinking about things. It doesn't have to be I'm going to work towards that goal and that's the only thing I'm working towards. You can do it in a here's where I'm at. Here's my next best action. And then when I get there, I'm going to gather more information, then make the next determination. But if you don't have a general direction that you want to go, you're going to be meandering for a really long time. So understanding where do you want to work, how do you want to work, and what do you want to do for the next 2 years, 4 years, 6 years is important. What are your preferences, cultural preferences, leadership preferences, role preferences? Do they have upward mobility? Those kinds of things. And then you get to target folks within there and leveraging the veteran community that we have, because it is amazing. I have Ben Perez, who was a CW3. I can't remember, Ben, if you were a CW3 or a CW4. Or shit, were you 5? I can't remember. Ben Perez, I think he still works down at Dell. He was in J6 in the command with me. Super good dude. And he got out before I did. And he said he started going on LinkedIn and looking for veterans in multiple organizations to get an understanding of, hey, how does it work there? How do you guys do PTO, paid time off, leave? How do you guys, what is the flexibility? What is the upward mobility there? How does the leadership work? He was asking all of these questions to gather intel on that particular company, and he was leveraging his inside people, us, the veteran network. And every time I have reached out, he was doing like 5 and 6, 15, 20-minute calls just with random veterans and random people at companies to gather intel on them. And he said it worked out great. And not only did he gather the information, but he started to leverage to gather, amass a network of folks who wanted to help him. And because of his story, and because he was a veteran, because he was military, because he was part of the brotherhood and the sisterhood, they were more than willing to help. So reaching out, and from there, now it's narrowing it down to the target that you want to go to. Here's where SkillBridge screwed up, and this just got implemented. SkillBridge screwed up because now they have to be DoD vetted, and I completely disagree with that. Before, and this is how I leveraged it, I went to a company, I helped them set it up so that I could leverage them, and you could go to any company and do a SkillBridge apprenticeship, internship, on-the-job training with any company. They didn't have to go through the vetting process. Now they've limited it to only the 1,311 organizations that are in that list now. Now, is it really hard to get on that list? No, it's not. And any organization or anybody who works with an organization who is in here or watching this, I highly, highly recommend, and I implore you to go through that process. It's not that much. It doesn't take that long. It's just do it and get on that list, so the veterans that we have the ability to go to and have more opportunities to use this particular type of strategy in using SkillBridge. So to kind of recap on this one, you're finding an organization, several organizations, and you're narrowing it down so that you're going to them and going direct to them with the SkillBridge, because you've decided that this is the right place for me to go and this is where I want to go. So there's that one. A/B test, really, really cool approach. So the A/B test is a lot of the similar approaches, requirements, and similar things on the precision engagement, except now you can't narrow it down to one. You've narrowed it down to two, or you want to look at, you're not sure what's right, and you want to get an understanding of, do I want to go to a startup? Or some small organization, or do I think it would be better working in a large organization? Tyler Haley, who is now the infrastructure lead at Scale.ai, he did this. He Army Staff Sergeant, worked with me in the command. Brilliant dude. He was the cloud architect for us. He was just amazing. He was able to go, he went to HashiCorp. For those of you not familiar, HashiCorp is an infrastructure as code startup. They're probably Series D, Series E, I think now. I can't remember. He was able to go to HashiCorp, a smaller organization, go there for 3 months, and then he left there and then went and did Hiring Our Heroes and went over to AWS. And he got the perspective of both a small organization and a large organization. And then he got to make the decision which way he wanted to go. He ultimately decided to go with AWS, and he was there for a while. And now he's grown, and now he wants to go. Now he's going and working at Scale.ai, a Series E company. You could look at it from do I want to go to this company over here and look at engineering, or do I want to look at management? Do I want to go to the lower, not lower end, the engineering side, or the lower rings of the totem pole, or do I want to go work over here on the executive side and start and try and figure out doing people ops and go to market operations and go on that side of it? You get the opportunity to see both sides for a good extended amount of time. And as you leave the first one, you have the experience that you gained from working at the A side, and you can also apply those new lessons learned and those approaches on the B side. And then at the end, you get to choose. So the only difference between the precision engagement and the A/B test is you get to select two. The hard part here is figuring out what your A/B test is. Some of the recommendations I have there: startup or a large corporation, engineering and management, culture A, culture B, and it could be like 100% remote organization and a 100% on-prem organization, something like that. Vertical A, vertical B. Do I want to go work in healthcare, or do I want to go work in financial services? On the security side, that could be some significantly different things. Robert M. Lee today was talking about the difference in doing IT security and the security side on IT systems, and then how that may or may not translate on the OT side. You could go and do those two difference. You could use those as A/B tests. So that's the A/B test side. Really, really cool. I wish I would have known about that or thought about that, but this is a really good one. And then Kickstart My Startup. You can take the precision or the A/B test and do the same thing here, but the intent here is you're not looking for a job from any of these organizations. Don't recommend saying that to them, but or you could be upfront with them and just explain to them. But the intent here is, I know that I want to go down the entrepreneurial path. I want to see what it's like, or I want to gain some insight while lowering my risk because I'm still getting active duty pay. So now I can go to an early stage startup and a late stage startup and see the difference between the two, and work with the executives, work with the engineering, and see how things start, and then go to a late stage startup and see how things shape. And how does culture change things? And how does remote work change things? And how does communication style change as you start to grow? And what happens if you grow too slow, or what happens if you grow too fast? So you can use the A/B test there. And then when you're done, now you have a whole lot of experience that you can take with you as you go and start your own. You could do a pre-IPO organization or a post-IPO organization. You could do a VC firm or a venture capital firm to understand what are the key things that VCs are looking for when they're investing in a startup, so that you can go figure that out, so that you can then take what you've learned from them and then go start something up and be able to speak exactly the language they're talking about in your pitch deck. And now you have a leg up on a lot of other startups. And then, or you could go to a private equity firm. These are the organizations in the startup world and in the business venture world that have a shit ton of money, and then they invest in you. Doing an executive apprenticeship, so sitting with executives, the C levels, or the directors, and understand how is that interaction between those folks so that you can get an understanding of what works and what does not work as you're building up your organization. And then you pass on the position at the end. Most of the time, you'll probably get the opportunity to stay there, but you pass on it because you've now gained enough information and you've already built your business strategy and you've already done all the things that you need to do to get out and start your own organization from scratch with all of this new experience. And the prep, I messed up the slides there. The prep required is first you need to understand the risk. Going into a startup space, going into entrepreneurship, there is risk there. Understand what that risk profile looks like for you and your family. Absolutely. Determine the ideal preferences for choosing where you want to go during the SkillBridge internship, and then picking it, finding potential targets, interviewing. A lot of the stuff is all going to be the same across all of them. It's just about how you apply it. And then some lessons learned. So piss poor planning predicates piss poor performance. If you're not doing setting yourself up for success, sorry, that's the Kickstart My Startup is the approach that I used. I did an apprenticeship with an executive who had been an executive in the tech world for 20 plus years, and I learned a lot from that guy and understood what is it that. How do I take, 2 years ago, I was a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. Now I'm the chief executive, the chief technology officer and co-founder for a, many, many $1 million valued organization backed by Silicon Valley VC money. I'm a board member. Like, I didn't know any of that shit before I was getting out. I didn't have to think about that. I understood leadership. Yes. I understood technology. Yes. I understood mentorship and translating mission objectives to execution. Yes, I knew all that. I didn't know anything about go-to-market. I didn't know anything about building a sales comp strategy or a go-to-market strategy or understanding PR. I didn't understand any of that stuff. I used that time in my SkillBridge to pick up on those things to get me started and then move on into starting my own. So that's the one that I listened. So let's get back into the lessons learned. Take the time to reflect and understand what you want to be when you grow up. Take a minute to really think about what do I have? What do I need? And what do I want to be and where do I want to go? And include your family in that. We're talking about location. We're talking about don't just shoot for, hey, I want to go out, I want to get out and I'm going to make $275,000 a year. Because I'm a colonel and I've been managing thousands of people. There are some expectation management there, and you really need to sit down and reflect on what it is that I want to do and where do I want to be and where do I want to go. That's where you should start before you even think about what strategy you're going to employ when using SkillBridge. This is like you're 2 years out. You need to start thinking about what are my preferences? What location do I want to live? Where's my family going to be? How am I going to balance work and life? And then use those principles and those key tenets of how you want to be as a person and how you want to grow as you transition out and as you become implanted back in the civilian world. Use that as the basis to then build a strategy for your transition. Educate your leadership. There are a lot of organizations. Wyatt, who's in on this call, he's on my team. He did OCO for a 3-letter agency, and he is amazing. He had to really educate and continually re-educate his leadership on SkillBridge because they had never heard of it. And I also implore anybody who is still in the service, if you are in a senior leadership position or master sergeant, or you just at the higher ranks, start to message these things to your commands and to your chain of command so that they know that these things are available and they are 100% valuable to not just the members who are getting ready to transition, but eventually for them when they transition. And if we don't use them, if it's a pain in the ass and it starts to die off and people can't get out and actually use them because leadership says, nah, I can't backfill your slot. I can't lose you. You guys need to suck it up and let these folks take advantage of the program for the last 6 months of their time in the service. So educate yourself, educate your leadership, educate your command, keep messaging out that SkillBridge and Warrior Care Coalition programs are really, really important and valuable for service members. Do your OSINT. Go out and I think this kind of ties to, do you have tips for learning about the company? That question that Ron put in. Yeah, it's OSINT. LinkedIn, forums, pick up the phone and call people. Go there, schedule meetings. Go look up there and do your OSINT to find out who their middle management is. Call recruiters, not because you want them to recruit you, but you want to get information from them. Call recruiters. And yes, Wyatt, 100%. It's all about networking. I hate social media, but I will tell you what, LinkedIn is extremely powerful for veterans. I use LinkedIn on a regular basis to get, hey, here's some stuff that I'm working on, or here's some struggles that I'm having. Let me reach out to somebody who I think might have had some experience doing that. And let me just have a 20, 25-minute conversation out of the blue with a veteran or somebody I've never met before. That's what those things are for. Anybody who links up with me on LinkedIn, I've had to kind of shift that a little bit because, I'm an executive now and I got a company, blah, blah, blah. But I try and have a full-blown conversation with every LinkedIn connection that I have. So that when I go back, it's not just a out of the blue thing. I start the conversation and I build that network of folks who are there, who will help or are willing to help, who I have helped, who I think can help me with their experience. I do veterati.com all the time, which I recommend that everybody do. It is they call it mentor. You're going to sign up as a mentor and you're going to sign up as a mentee. And I recommend that you do both. What I don't like, and every time I am a mentor and somebody's linking up with me on Veterati, the thing that I start the conversation with is, hey, this is not mentor-mentee. This is two people having a discussion. I have some experiences and some skills that you want to learn about and some stories that you want to hear from me. You probably have some experiences and some skills that I want to hear from you. So this is like a mutual two people just having a conversation, vice mentor-mentee thing. I don't particularly like that. I think, coming from the military, it brings a connotation that one is above the other. And out here in the real world, everybody is the same. Everybody should just be helping everybody, no matter where they're at in the stack. So there's that. I forgot where I was going with it, so I'll just keep moving on. Do your OSINT, networking, talk to people, pick up the phone, have conversations, and then leverage the veteran network. The community that we have, this community within VetSec is amazing. There is a lot of opportunity out there. I'll bring up Stephen Mills, who is he's the director of maritime security. I can't remember his specific title, but he's got a DoD SkillBridge program where he's looking for offensive folks coming out of the service to help him secure and improve the security posture of Royal Caribbean. Link him up. Look him up on LinkedIn. Hit me up and I'll link you up with him. You can have a conversation with him. He's a super good dude. I'm down here in Florida right now talking with a bunch of prospects and customers. And he went out to one of the events and we had some really good conversations. He's looking for folks. So there you go. Yes, Tom, you're the man. And then me, I need offensive folks. I need defensive folks. I need folks who understand the space, who can help me build an amazing product and improve the product that we have and help provide offensive security capabilities to more organizations, because that is such a thing that organizations are missing. Small, mid-market companies, even large organizations, they don't have your skills. I'm helping provide that. Come talk to me. I would love to put you through our internship program. And there are hundreds and hundreds of other ones that have their own direct. I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. Their own direct SkillBridge programs without going through Hiring Our Heroes. Let me go back there. There we go. So the only thing I had left was, but I'm going to share again because it's got all the information on there. You'll get the slides anyhow. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out there, and we're right at 51. Are there any questions? Let me see if we got any in the Q&A. Nothing in there. I think I answered the ones that were in there already. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll just wrap it up real quick, and then you can link up with me on LinkedIn. I love having conversations with folks, learning about their stories, telling my story, and connecting. I love the biggest thing that I can provide to you is, I got some experience, and I did some really cool experience, but it's connecting you to the rest of the network and the folks within my network who can connect you to folks within their network. And we all should be doing that for everybody, and that will help us here in the VetSec community meet our goal of no veteran pursuing information security going on unemployed. So SkillBridge, an amazing program. There's some primary ways that you can use it, but there are also other strategies that you can employ to get more value out of it for you specifically, and employing your strategy to getting out. Ron, I've accomplished my goal. I have provided somebody with information about SkillBridge, so that's good. I appreciate that. You got SkillBridge and Warrior Care Coalition. Warrior Care Coalition is specifically for special operations folks. Take a look at those programs and reach out to folks. You got the Precision Engagement, where you go direct to them because you're picking the organization that you want to go work for and you want to do an internship with. That's the Precision Engagement. You got the A/B test, where you go to two different organizations to kind of feel out, do I want to go to a big organization or a little organization? And then, or whatever your A/B test is. And then you get to pick at the end which place you go. And then Kickstart My Startup. I know that I want to build my own startup at the end. What information and who can help me look around the corners as I'm building my own startup, and getting those skills and understanding what they've done, and apprenticing with an executive or an engineering team or whatever the case may be, and then you exit out and start your own. Networking, share. I'm Tony P, Horizon3.ai. We're hiring, looking for software developers and offensive security folks. And check out our YouTube, our LinkedIn, hit me up on LinkedIn. And I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate everybody's time. So thanks.